U.S. President Joe Biden is traveling to South Korea and Japan on Thursday after hosting the Southeast Asian leaders at the White House last week. The administration's spotlight on Asia is a clear signal that the Indo-Pacific region remains its priority, even as it focuses on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara is traveling with the president and has this report.
Following a two-day summit with members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, U.S. President Joe Biden is heading to Seoul and Tokyo, despite a raging war in Ukraine, a signal that the Indo-Pacific remains the administration's priority and China its greatest strategic challenge. It's a synergy of Trans-Pacific and Transatlantic coalition building, said National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
And President Biden's unique capacity to actually stitch those two together is, I think, going to be a hallmark of his foreign policy.
In Seoul, Biden will meet the newly inaugurated South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol after a series of ballistic missiles tests by North Korea. Officials are bracing for another launch while Biden is in the region. In Tokyo, Biden will participate in the Quad Partnership Summit with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and either Prime Minister Scott Morrison or his contender, Anthony Albanese, depending on who wins Saturday's Australian election. Biden will use the Ukraine crisis to signal to China that unilateral changes to the status quo by force, whether in Taiwan or the disputed islands in the South China Sea, are unacceptable.
The administration wants to make it very clear that there is strong support for Taiwan throughout the region and that there is tremendous capability there, as there has proven to be capability in the Transatlantic Alliance vis-a-vis Ukraine.
The Quad will also consult on the recent security agreement between the Solomon Islands and Beijing that has triggered fears of a Chinese military base in the strategic waters of the South Pacific.
It's been fundamental to Australia's view of its own security that hostile powers should not be able to project force against Australia from the Pacific.
In Tokyo, Biden will launch the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, the centerpiece of his administration's economic policy in the region since the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the free trade agreement that the Obama administration signed in 2016 and that the Trump administration withdrew from in 2017. There are scant details about the framework, but one thing is clear. IPEF does not include the free trade components that regional countries want. Despite several countries signaling interest in the framework, observers say this means the U.S. still lacks an attractive trade strategy to counter China's increasing economic clout. Patsy Widakuswara, viewing news at the White House.
Well, the fatal shooting of longtime Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh during a firefight in Jenin between Israeli soldiers and Palestinian gunmen continues to reverberate around the world. Palestinians are sure that Abu Akleh